Hey there, all Odie. Thanks for following. We're going to start in like 30 seconds. We're just working out some technical issues. All right, hello. We are back. Maybe, sort of. A little bit late tonight. I had a fun time learning how to use my crock pot and not burn down my house. John is. I'm Andrew, as I usually say, and here's John with me.
Yes.
John is having some technical issues. His headphones might be breaking his computer. We'll figure it out. Meantime, we're gonna get back into the great Ace Attorney. So from what I remember last time, like, we had to convince the jury not to convict the guy really quick.
Yeah. I think my biggest takeaway from this is that the British legal system is very odd.
Yeah, we need to get Legal Eagle on this.
Yes. Oh
God. And, like, I think I think like the old woman, she made a comment that was like, they stabbed him on the floor, but he's actually in the chair in the picture. I think that's probably our first line of debate. Oh yeah, we have to say things. Oh shit! Hold on. The game has a chat log for us.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Some of the jurors don't seem to have wonderfully formed arguments, though, do they?
Well, let's see what we can do. We need to get these 6 people to change their minds.
So for our newest follower, you get to experience
triple A voice acting professional. I'll have to throw everything I can at them and use some very persuasive language.
Just a moment, Mr. Naruhodo. According to my book, that's not quite how it works.
It's gonna be yet to present evidence. I guarantee it. Oh, I thought I was going to have to thaw their icy minds with some heartwarming rhetoric about the defendant.
Unfortunately, once the jurors have decided the defendant is guilty, they're unlikely to heed anything the defense says. We're fucked.
Yeah, but then...
They've reached their conclusions by their own reasoning, you see. Your pleas will sound like excuses. In fact, it could recoil on you. The more you try to persuade them, the more entrenched they may become.
What on earth am I supposed to do?
I don't know. Oh dear. I'm just citing what I've read about British law, Mr. Naruhodo.
Right, I'm sorry. Do you have any idea how to make this work, then?
I mean, she's like more of a lawyer than me.
I know, she should be the lawyer.
Well, from what I can understand...
Yeah, it's like Kazuma should have been the main character, and then he died. And now she should be the main character because she actually knows how to be a lawyer.
Yes. The key to this procedure is using the juror's own words to make your arguments.
What do you mean?
Use the same game mechanic you've been doing throughout the entire game, but literally in a slightly different context.
The entire series has been the same thing. You look at text and you present a piece of evidence. That's it. That's it. That's the whole gameplay.
They may appear to present a united front, but the truth is, they're all insane. They are complete strangers who just happen to find themselves here in the courtroom together.
And that's the way to break them down, you mean?
Yes! In the kneecaps.
Precisely.
we must listen very carefully to what each member of the jury says, and see if we can identify any contradictory statement, like the old lady.
Yeah.
If we can then contrast the statements and pit the corresponding jurors against each other.
Oh, so it is different. It seems like... Okay, so you don't present evidence here, you look... Okay. Oh shit, I didn't read the fucking read. Yeah. I see, so it's contradictions in what two or more jurors say that we're looking for. In a way then, this is similar to a regular cross-examination.
Oh, yes! I suppose you're right.
Find contradictions in their statements and pit the jurors against one another to break them down. Alright, I might be able to pull this off. No, that's not right. I have to pull this off.
Can we start proceedings, counsel? I would ask you to take the stand for this time, expecting a clear and concise rebuttal.
Yes, my lord. Jake says it is different. He says it's good. Yes, my liege.
My liege?
Suck.
We are under attack.
This is different. The defense's rebuttal.
Tum-tum.
Let's see. Oh, shit. Okay, so this one contradicts him being on the floor.
Yes.
This is what really happened, apparently, with them both being on the seat. And then everything. This actually contradicts the maid, I think. Because 4 passengers with 20 pence would be 5
each.
Return to 5.
Yeah.
I don't know. Doesn't really seem as substantial as...
It could be that there were 5 passengers.
Oh. Okay. So I guess we'll pit him against the maid.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that it just let me do this mechanic without giving me like a 10-minute talk about how to do this. Like... Math.
Objection.
Those two statements clearly contradict each other.
They do. Explain yourself, counsel.
I think that was you, but I can do it if you want.
Oh, me? Oh dear, what have I said? I swear on Silver Blaze's name, I haven't the first idea what you're talking about.
According to the group testimony we've heard so far, I can't believe we have a person walking around on the screen. Holy shit. So much, there's too much action on the screen right now. I can't handle it. There were 4 passengers on the omnibus on the night in question. And according to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 20 pence in fares. Quite right. I have those precise details typed neatly here in front of me. And juror number 5 also told us the following. The fare for the omnibus is always 4 pence.
It's just that it's a fair and convenient single price. Just the way London's carriages should be operated.
Well, that doesn't add up at all. Or multiply. In fact, it leaves a glaring discrepancy in the facts.
Why, man? Why?
4 passengers paying 4 pence each if you do the multiplication.
Ah! Clipped. It would be 16 pence.
Exactly. As I said, it doesn't add up. The figures are different. By 4 pence, in fact. Or precisely 1 person's fare.
1 person's fare?
Yes, in other words, on the omnibus that night, It's distinctly possible there was another passenger we've heard nothing about.
Good gracious! This can't be right. The coachman, the ghostman, oh, just worthiness is our watchword.
Figures your coachman claims most certainly do not add up. Your watchword, good sir, is a fallacy.
You shut your mouth, I beg your pardon. You bitch.
Mr. Guildmaster, I think you ought to consider that if this trial were to end now, the news will surely spread all over London.
That you're a drunk.
Yeah. The news that one of your coachmen tried to hide the fact that he lets the nefarious characters ride his omnibus.
Alright then, how do I make this miserable trial doesn't end? Well, according to my book here, you simply launch a bonfire onto the innocent side of the set of scales.
Oh, you know, just do a shoryuken.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fine.
Shoryuken!
Now hold your horses there, coachman. We were all in agreement. Why do you have to go in?
Where till I get my hands on you, Beppo?
Beppo. Arg, this is all very irritating.
Begging your pardon, sir, I'm going to do the same.
For the love of Mike. Not you as well.
A penny can be the difference between a smile and a tear, after all. I certainly can't put my trust in someone who doesn't follow my exacting standards in financial matters.
Oh, really?
I, for one, think it's only proper that we hear from the witnesses again.
Also, she didn't go back to, like, uncommitted. She went to not guilty. Because before they were all red, and now she's white. It's like, oh, they can't do math? Alright, let them out.
Oh, well, Mr. No, you did it! If we can manage to change 2 more jurors' minds, we can force the trial to continue.
2 more? Actually, there is something else that's bothering me about a couple of their assertions.
Then that's what you must strike next!
So I need to pit 2 more jurors against each other and show there's another contradiction in their assertions?
Exactly! You can do it! Well, the scales of justice have shifted, but they still weigh heavy on the side of guilt. Counsel, you have the floor again. Continue with your summation examination.
Okay, we don't need to see this. So it's gonna be this and this.
Objection!
The guy with a knife in a courtroom.
Yeah. What if he's the murderer? I didn't think about that. Oh my god. That'd be amazing. Those 2 statements are completely contradictory.
What? Explain, counsel, please!
Oh dearie me, I was only knitting a jumper for my other half. What is all this claptrap? What does contradictory even mean, I ask you? We've heard from more than one witness that they allegedly saw the actual moment when the defendant stabbed the victim. Now, out of curiosity, juror number 3. What? Can't you see I'm busy here, stabbing this table? How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim? What sort of motion was it?
Like this?
Ha! Want to test me, do you? I'll stab this woman right here. It was like this. Stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up. Just like the prim banker said.
Yes, that's what Mr. Fairplay's testimony. Quite true.
Now then, juror number 6. Now that I've, I didn't remove you from the room or anything, so you heard this, you can just copy it. Oh, is that me, is it? What can I do for you, young man? How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim, madam? Oh, well, dear, as far as I understand it, it was like this. He stabbed the poor man after he collapsed on the floor. The coachman said so. Now don't move. Take a look at those 2 jurors. He stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up. And he stabbed the poor man after he collapsed on the floor.
They're stabbing in totally different direction.
What?
Oh, also there was
What a muddle.
there was a key detail. She said the driver told her. That's how it happened.
Let's see. The coachman said so. I think she's talking about the testimony, right? Like, are you trying to say that like she knows the driver outside of the case?
Or I guess what I'm trying to say is it possible that the coachman was in on it, right? There's a discrepancy in fares.
Yeah.
Yeah, things like that.
Yeah. I think it's probably based on like previous cases. They probably saw 2 different events, and they don't realize it. Like, one of them is the real murder, and one of them is someone staging it for the benefit of the witnesses. That happens a lot in case attorney. So it'd be like the real murder was when he was on the floor, but it was like while the defendant was sleeping in the carriage or something, and then they moved him up on the chair or something like that. But it would be really funny if like she was the husband or the if she was the wife of the cart driver and just didn't bring it up. What this tells us is that there's a strong possibility one of the witnesses isn't telling the truth. Oh. But why? Why the dickens would they lie? I don't know that yet, but what I do know is that if the trial ends at this point, we may never find out. We may never know the real truth. Also, I'm pretty sure we found out it's because one of the witnesses was in the ledger of the defendant, right?
Yes, yeah. The cab driver. Oh, no.
It was fair play, I think.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, can you really let that happen in all good conscience? Lies, you say? Oh, dearie me. I can't abide people telling lies. Hadouken!
The scales! Oh, wrong voice. I don't believe it.
Wait! Now hear this, my fellow jurors. I warn you, you cannot listen to this man. Look at him in his black suit. He's clearly some devious Eastern sorcerer using magic on us all. Magic is real, you know. If I could use magic, do you really think I'd be putting myself through all this? Answer me this, dark magician. Huh, me? What exactly is the problem? What of it if 2 witnesses of slightly different recollections of events? I can't do a fucking actor for this guy. What of it? Let's say the Shylock did stab the victim as he was sat next to him on the omnibus. And this young dandy saw him do it.
Oh, there was your Australian accent there just for a second.
No.
It was glorious.
And now let's say the victim collapsed on the floor. And then the Shylock stabbed him again. And this old lady saw him do it. Dude, I cannot hold my voice for anything. Well, what's to say it didn't happen like that, hmm? Who are you calling a dandy, sir? Why, I should take this knife to you. Who are you calling old? Why, I should take this needle to you. Ugh, they're ready to kill each other now. Could the foreman of the jury be right? The two witnesses see two different moments of the same crime? Aha. Got him. It's true. There's an outside chance of almost anything you care to mention. Exactly the point I've been trying to make. Oh. Oh, what is it, Mr. Zato? I think I picked the wrong one.
I think you should have a look through the court record.
Oh, maybe this is telling us about the debt? I don't know. Ah!
You see? This evidence makes it quite clear. There isn't even an outside chance of what the jurors said.
How did I miss that? Okay. Unfortunately, Mr. Foreman. What is it, you dark jigs? Come out with it.
Exotic!
What you're suggesting is impossible. It's out of the question. My grandpa's deck has no bad cards. What are you talking about, man? How can you possibly say that? You realize that I'm only doing my job. Press X to doubt. As foreman of the jury, I have a responsibility to steer everyone in the right direction. So where's your evidence, man? That's what we want to see. I say the two witnesses saw different moments of the same crime. You say that's out of the question? Show me some proof. Looks like the only way I'm going to convince him is to present him with something he can't dismiss. Some irrefutable hard evidence. It's either the debt thing or it's like the autopsy will say he was only stabbed once. Oh shit. As you wish. What? I'll give you the proof. It's out of the question that two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime, as proven by a single stab wound. Okay.
Take that!
This is the victim's autopsy report. According to what's written here, Mr. Mason was stabbed in the abdomen only once. Eh? Only once? It's quite simple. The victim was stabbed precisely one time. Which means these witnesses can't possibly have seen it happen two different times. Yeah. Alright, I concede defeat. Wait, that means 4 jurors are now leaning to not guilty.
We've done it, Naruhodo! We've won! Kinda.
For now. I literally forgot the prosecutor was in the room. What are you playing at, you dandy fool? Shut your trap, sir. No one deceives me. But we had a consensus. I said shut your trap. I know a liar when I see one. And if the chap ever dares to cross the chap ever dares to cross the threshold of my shop, I'll take this razor-sharp blade and shave every last hair off his head.
What is he, a villain from, like, a Metal Gear Solid game now?
Sweeney Todd? Yeah. Please tell me he's a barber.
Well, in a quite remarkable turn of events, the defense's summation examination has flipped the balance of the scales of justice. The jurors now stand at 2 for guilty and 4 for not guilty. This makes it a third repetition of that statement. Accordingly, there is no longer a large enough majority among the jury for me to adjudicate. And the trial must continue. I hereby ask the defense, prosecution, and witnesses to return to their places. And I call upon all of you to continue to pursue the truth.
We did it.
Yay! Mission accomplished. So, Lord Van Zeeks, continue to substantiate the case for the prosecution, if you please.
Oh my god. Having savored the rich aroma of the common contents of this hollow chalice, it may seem crass to crush it to dust. Pray forgive the discourtesy.
Lord Van Zeeks!
Is it cold in here, or is it just me? As your antiquated tome no doubt says, the prosecution may not speak during a summation examination. So I honor their deathly silence and listen to this charade. It seems I overestimated the intelligence of the jury. Insulting the jury, the number one tactics of successful prosecution. Wow. Yeah. Well, no matter. There is nothing so hard to prove as a self-evident truth, it would seem. No, and why else would we grace the courtroom with our presence after all? So, let us proceed to the next round of battle. Bring forth the witnesses once more.
It's like when the Zelda boss transforms into the second phase.
Jake says, is he German, French, or Belgian? Or just evil?
All of the above?
Yeah. Belgians are just all evil. Everyone in Belgium is evil. I trust you had the summation examination we have just had to endure. I think it was you.
Oh, yes, sir. That I did, sir.
Of course I heard it.
Yes, sir. I heard it. You, sir, on the end, the coachman, I believe it's Beppo. Yes, sir. My lord, sir. If it transpires that in your previous testimony you were attempting to veil the presence of a fifth passenger on your omnibus, you will be found guilty of perjury. You are advised to bear that in mind. Oh, mio Dio, oh. Now then, witnesses, I hereby call on you to testify before the court again. You will explain the various misgivings brought to our attention by the defense's summation examination.
Various misgivings.
Dum-dum. I only carried 4 passengers that night, I swear, but
Well, I, for one, was told I had to pay 5 pence for the bus.
he fiddled us on the fare, he did, and then I saw that blood-curdling sight as well. It's also too much.
I tell you, I saw McGilden stabbing that man. Everything I said before stands.
Oh, yes, he stabbed him, he did. I think so, yes. Counsel, make sense of this for me, please.
The phantom 5th passenger conjured into existence by my learned Eastern friend never existed. The confusion has arisen from the coachman's sly little cousinage.
Better explain yourself. Oh, I'm terribly sorry, Guildmaster. The guild's fare is 4 pence across the board. You know that.
I went on the New York subway the other day for the first time, and apparently it's just $3 per ticket, no matter what. So it's clearly they took inspiration from Ace Attorney's omnibus fare policy.
Oh man. I might understand that you've been overcharging our passengers by a penny a fare. Oh, it's so cold, and the last run of the day is always half empty. You have been dishonest, coachman.
The sentence is death.
I'm sorry. You disgrace, Beppo, a disgrace. Your selfish actions have brought dishonor on the entire guild.
Jake says that the subway fare used to be $2.75. Damn.
Bastards.
These bastards.
If I may, sir, I had to pay 10 pence on the bus just last week.
Oh, shit.
4 passengers at 5 pence each is, yes, 20 pence. That's math. I've done the arithmetic 10 times already, but I just can't make the result come out differently.
You have to try really hard. That's how math works. You just focus on it. No, that figures.
Well, it would appear that one of the aforementioned misgivings has already been explained. So, counsel for the defense, your cross-examination, if you please.
We've already had the pleasure of a protracted summation examination today. I see you intend to continue the parlor games. Absolutely. I fucking love games. Let's do it. Cross-examination. Various misgivings.
Tap tap.
Okay. We should probably just press all of them, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. It could be like on any one of these things.
Hold it!
So there were only 4 passengers on your carriage, but you didn't charge them the standard 4 pence fare. Is that right?
It's impossible to make the last run of the day pay. I was so cold, and all I could do is stop myself from passing out.
I'm getting chillblains just listening to you.
It was terrible, so I wanted to give myself a pat on the back for even keeping the bus running. Doesn't a dedicated coachman deserve an extra penny per passenger?
Excuse me.
Oh, shit. No, damn it. I didn't think they needed to probe this guy. If I may, Mr. Fairplay. What are you fossicking for now? That last statement appears to have given you pause for thought. This is it. Yeah, I should have answered this. Not really. By the way, you always seem to be looking to the side, one way or another. Do you have some affliction? Not really. He's not really willing to say anything, it seems. It's none of your business, anyhow.
Yeah, Cole Phelps.
Oh, did that interrupt? Okay, I'm gonna click through this real quick to see if that interrupted it, or if we were at the end. Blah, blah, blah. digging a deeper hole for yourself here. If only there had been a fifth passenger on the omnibus that night, then we would have had another suspect. Okay, we're basically at the end.
Hold it!
Does that mean everyone on board that night paid 5 pence instead of 4?
Well, I paid 5 cents too, sir.
And I just told you that I did.
A fair 5 pence across the board.
It's not something to be proud of. The so-called discrepancy my learned friend identified was nothing of the sort. Much like the phantom killer you so desperately needed, it's gone, dead and buried. I'd been happy if it had ever existed in the first place.
Hold it!
This blood-curdling sight, you mean the murder, I presume? John?
Yes, sir. Sorry, it must have clicked out.
It's okay.
A loathsome sight. No one should have to witness the horror in the eyes of a man the moment his life is taken. Oh well, not exactly, sir. I mean, I didn't actually see the exact moment the jet was stabbed. Good gracious, really?
We have another witness who did, however. The banker has already testified to it. But Mr. First didn't actually see the point at which the victim was killed. That may turn out to be very significant.
Could get next to me on the take a sharp intake of breath, see, and then that's when I looked through the glass. That's when I saw the horrible blade poking out of his belly, all covered in blood. Every time I see a knife now, I can't help screaming, even when I'm eating.
Hold it!
So you saw the defendant, Mr. McGillett, stabbing the victim, Mr. Mason, who was sitting next to him? That's what I said, isn't it? It was bothering me before, this was. For just a brief moment, he hesitated before answering the question. Anyway, there was only 2 of them inside the carriage, wasn't there? There has been much talk of a 5th passenger, but as yet, 0 evidence. Then what are we wasting all this time for, eh? It's black and white, the man's guilty. Something about Mr. Fairplay's testimony just jars with me. I wish I could work out what it was. I mean, I have I can just present the ledger.
Yeah.
It doesn't really contradict it, but like...
Objection!
Nope, I guess not, because the music didn't change. The witness's last statement is clearly at odds with this piece of evidence.
I'm sorry, counsel, but I failed to see the connection.
Oh,
And for heaven's sake, will you kindly desist from that wide-eyed panic-stricken look you are wont to wear?
it's the only panic-stricken look I know. Okay, we'll press this and go back to it.
Hold it!
Earlier, you testified that you saw the moment when the defendant allegedly stabbed the victim, didn't you? You said the victim was on the floor and described the assailant holding a knife in an ice pick grip.
I suppose. I might have, yes. Put the cart before the horse, maybe. What's this? Well, I'm quite sure about most of it. I was driving the horse when I heard a scream from the seats on the roof deck. This accent has, completely dissolved. I expect that was me, sir. Then I turned around, yes, and yes, I saw it through the skylight. The gentleman was on the floor and the knife was sticking up out of his midriff. That's right, yes, and the fellow holding the handle was the famous man, yes.
So in short, you didn't see the moment when the victim was actually stabbed at all?
I really thought I did, but when I go over again in my head, no. I suppose I didn't actually see the precise moment of the stabbing, did I?
Well,
oh.
All right. That's a lot less subtle than I was expecting.
Ooh, that's like weird BDSM vibes.
Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Fairplay? Now you listen to me. I know what you're thinking. He didn't really see the exact moment the fellow was stabbed. What are the chances of that? A? Are you asking me or telling me? He's getting flustered. I'd be able to extract some new information from him if I answer him cleverly. Could he have just happened to see the exact moment the crime was committed? Some days like that. Sometimes it do be like that.
Yeah, sometimes it do.
Yeah. Well, it is a little hard to believe, certainly. Unless you spend your time peeping through a skylight at the top of an omnibus, that is. Peeping? I'm a respectable city banker, I'll have you know. And I know what I saw. I remember it as clear as a Ballarat day. Whatever the fuck that is. It was a grim scene, I don't mind telling you.
Thank you, Mr. Fairplay.
Oh, excuse me if I'm getting a little hot under the collar there, my lord.
I will ask you to supplement your testimony with a clear statement about what exactly you saw. Also, Ballarat is a city in the Central Highlands of Victoria, Australia, and, yeah.
Oh no, is he actually Australian? Is that why his name is Bruce?
I think so.
No. Oh god. Oh, I can do that all right. I'll tell you just how grim it was. I felt the Texas a little bit at the end there.
That is better than what I could do.
Oh, there we go. He's wearing gloves. This is it. Do you think I'd forget the sight of those blood-soaked hands after that? Whoa, that was not Australian at all. I don't know what the fuck that was. That was Southern. Do you think I'd forget the sight of the... Fuck it. Do you think I would forget the sight of those blood-soaked hands after that butcher stabbed the man?
Objection!
There we go. Blood-soaked hands? Well, I admit that soaked might be laying it on a little thick, but... But anyway, there was definitely blood all over him. Both of them were covered in it. I have no idea what it's supposed to be anymore. Well, I'm very sorry to disagree, Mr. Fairplay, but that's more than a little peculiar. What? Here are the gloves worn by the defendant, Mr. McGilded, on the night in question. Oh, yes, right. And there certainly does appear to be a sizable dark-colored stain there. But, as I'm sure you can clearly see, it's only on the right-hand glove. Yarg! In short, Mr. Fairplay, your testimony is inconsistent. Oh, we got Denon in chat. Denon, I haven't seen you in a long time. It's been a while since you played Stargate or anything. Gag! But no, that can't be right. So you're the liar here, then? God. That's right. You were quite clear about it. You said it was both hands.
These animations.
Yeah, I know. Mr. Fairplay, if your last statement was a lie, calls your entire testimony into question. You say you saw the moment the victim was stabbed, but is that really the truth?
Objection!
It was a simple mistake. You can't justify accusing this man of lying. Yes, it wasn't in both hands. It was only one. But the fact remains. The victim's blood was on the accused.
Objection!
No, Mr. Fairplay categorically stated that he saw blood all over both hands. Which means there's a strong possibility that this witness was deliberately trying to mislead the court. Also, it was on his gloves, not his hands, right? That's more what I was expecting. Yeah. Kind of immaterial. It's like as immaterial as like actually it was only on one hand, but gag. Why? I'm a city banker, for pity's sake. My word should be the gold standard. I'm a gentleman, not some gutter snipe. Upstanding members of society don't prevaricate. He's claiming to have no reason to lie. But is that really the case?
No! If we had some evidence to explain why Mr. Fairplay might be lying, it could turn to the tide of the trial completely.
Something to show this man has a compelling reason to lie in his testimony. Here we go. Finally. My lord.
Yes, counsel.
The defense is ready to present evidence.
By Jove, are you sure?
Yes. Evidence that will clearly demonstrate why Mr. Fairplay had reason to lie in his testimony. Ah!
Very well. I hereby call on the defense to present its evidence. The evidence that demonstrates a motive for the witness's alleged deception of the court.
Oh, Adena, I'm playing with my friend John, so that's why.
Yes.
It's not. I'm not that good at voice acting. Okay.
Neither am I.
Take that!
This is the list of the debtors who owe money to Mr. McGilded. Yes, a list of innocent victims crippled by the accused extortion. The point is, among the names of these... Oh, shit.
Yeah.
The point is, among the names of these debtors is your name, Mr. Bruce Fairplay.
What? Mr. Fairplay, are you currently indebted financially to the accused?
No. Well, it's barely worth of being called a debt. According to this ledger, you owe 20 guineas. Not an inconsiderable sum of money, wouldn't you say? Arg. Well, what of it? Let's suppose Mr. McGilded were to be found guilty of murder. What would become of your debt in that case?
These documents state that the loan agreement is forged between two individual parties. Therefore, were the creditor, the defendant here, to be sentenced to a capital punishment, all outstanding debts which were owed to him would be annulled and they would cease to exist. Cease to exist?
Mr. Fairplay, is it not the case that you claimed in your testimony to have seen something you never in fact saw? In a devious attempt to annul your debt of 20 guineas to the defendant. Gug. Gah!
Mr. Bruce, fair play.
Yes, my lord.
Did you put your in the goblet? Let me ask you again. And be aware that your answer may have the most serious implications upon your future, sir.
Yeah.
Did you or did you not see the precise moment in time in which the defendant is alleged to have thrust a knife into the victim?
Your silence speaks volumes. By the way, Donat in chat loves your judge voice. Like, unironically, I think.
Oh, thank you.
You did not tell the truth in your testimony. Alright. Now let's not make a melodrama out of this. Perhaps I did overstate the truth. A pinch. A pinch. But it makes no difference. I definitely remember seeing blood on McGilda's hands. Both of them.
Objection!
And yet, only one of the defendant's gloves, which we have here as evidence, is stained. So you keep saying.
Be allowed to speak, sir. Go ahead, Mr. First. Well, the thing is, I think I remember seeing it myself as it happens.
Seeing what?
The blood, sir, on the assailant's hands. I think, yes. I'm almost sure that it was on both of his hands, not just one. Man, that is turning southern. I don't know why.
What? What?
It would appear that we're going to need further testimony from all you witnesses. This time, I would like to know precisely what you did and what you did not see. Because we need to pad the game out for another hour or so. Do I make myself perfectly clear?
Yes.
Mr. Naruto! This is a good news! The course of the trial seems to have shifted slightly at last.
Yes. I might finally have a chance to turn this thing around here. Look at this testimony. What the witnesses really saw. There was blood on both of the... there was blood on both hands of the assailant. I sincerely and distinctly remember that. However, I suppose you might say that I didn't see the exact moment of the stabbing transpired, if that matters.
Oh, I remember seeing the knife, and I remember seeing both of the attackers' hands with blood on them. I didn't actually see anything myself, no, not until I heard that scream.
Anyway, the fact remains, there can't have been anyone else inside that carriage, or we all would have seen.
Well, lo and behold. In truth of fact, not one of you was witness to the crucial moment the crime was perpetrated.
I apologize, my lord, but honestly, there was no one else inside that carriage, and the man's hands were covered in blood. That much incriminating evidence is tantamount to saying we saw the man do it. That's really not what the testimony is about. Let us examine the interior of the omnibus once more. The victim's fresh blood is clearly visible on the seat, corroborating the witness's accounts. In other words, there is no substantial nor significant change in the facts of the case.
Very Very well. Your cross-examination, please, counsel.
Yes, my lord. My liege? What this is really saw?
Dun dun.
I guess we just press everything again.
Yeah. I'm really starting to think that there was somebody in the compartment.
Hold it!
No, the evidence tells us otherwise. We have the gloves. We have the gloves the defendant was wearing on the night in question in the court record. Oh, I'm well aware of that, sir. But nevertheless, I know what I saw and I stand by it. The man had blood on both his hands. He's defiant, even in the face of hard evidence. He's steadfastly refusing to admit he might be mistaken about what he saw. But why? Your reasoning is dire. With one hand or two, the salient point remains unchanged. Minutes after the grim crimes, the victim's blood dripped guiltily from the accused's fingers.
Hold it!
Don't try to downplay this. Whether or not you saw the exact moment of the crime is a matter of fundamental importance as well, you know. But for crying out loud, we all know that no one else could have possibly done it. I was just trying to save us all some time. You have a load of 20 guineas outstanding with the defendant, do you not? And you hope to release yourself from that financial burden by ensuring the defendant was found guilty? That's not entirely not what I was hoping for. I just lost a little guinea or 10 when I backed the wrong horse in the Derby. That's all. Yeah. I was gonna win it all back. There's a fixture this weekend, that's a sure thing. A little guinea or 10? I'm a banker, no one bats an eye if I borrow a little spending money for the weekend.
I think you may reveal rather more about your character than you bargained for, sir.
This witness's scruples are not on trial here. Proceed to the next witness. Is that really how it's supposed to work?
Hold it!
You definitely saw that too? Blood on both hands?
Yes, sir. I mean, I know what you're going to say. Only one of Mr. McGilden's gloves have any signs of blood on it.
That's right.
The thing is, as far as I can remember, sir, when I looked down and saw Mr. McGilden sitting beside the other fella, I don't believe he was wearing any gloves, sir.
He wasn't wearing these gloves?
That's correct, sir. And I saw the blood on both his bare hands quite clearly.
It's true that the dark-colored stain on the dark leather gloves wouldn't have been easy to see. I should point out that the police officer who apprehended the accused on the night in question reported that there was no trace of blood on Mr. McGilden's gloved hands. There wasn't blood on his hands?
This is puzzling indeed.
This must be significant somehow, I'm sure of it. They probably want me to do that. I mean, we can't just present this because we've already talked about it. Is there something? No.
Is there anything in the photo?
just barely can't see his hands. See what's going on. Get what's pressing.
Hold it!
You didn't see anything?
Oh, yes, sir. That is to say no, sir, I didn't. Very sorry about what I said before, sir. Very sorry, yes. If it was very wrong of me to make up stories and say I saw him stab the man. Wouldn't you agree, sir?
Humph. I know what you're insinuating, but I certainly wasn't making up stories. Still, to say you saw nothing isn't right either, is it?
No, sir. I saw nothing at all.
Mr. Beppo, you were driving your horses. At the very least, you, must have enjoyed a good view of London's streets, no? Oh, please. You didn't even see that.
It was so cold that night, you see. It was all I could to keep from passing out, sir. Yes, my head was fairly frozen solid, sorry to say, sir.
It would seem prudent to avoid travel on the last omnibus service of London's cold winter nights.
Beppo! Oh!
Now, maybe this is to represent the compartment.
Carriage.
Hold it!
Yeah.
And everything you saw of the incident was through the skylight on the roof of the omnibus? That's right. It was fiercely cold that night, but the glass was not frosted over.
Oh, yes, I remember. I was shivering. It was so bitter.
Oh, I don't know what that was.
I do
Which
declare.
rather,
Huh?
Sorry, go ahead.
which rather begs the question of why the pair of you were sitting on the roof deck in the first place.
Well, I don't know about this young fellow, but I couldn't enter the cabin. Oh, why not? It was locked from the inside. I tried knocking, but no one opened the door. It was locked. That's right, and it's a public bus service, for pity's sake. That's not what I call fair play.
I had exactly the same experience. I tried knocking, but the inside just gestured to me to clear off. So I had no choice but to climb up on the roof deck and look down longingly into the warm cabin below.
It wouldn't be that much warmer. It's not like it's heated, right? Well, I can assure you that I wasn't just looking down. I was glaring long and hard. And that's precisely why I can tell you with absolute confidence that if there was anyone else at all in that cabin, I would have noticed. Unequivocal, I would say. Ooh, that was not the right voice. I'm not sure about these two witnesses. Could they really have seen everything inside the cabin through the skylight? Well, Jay, I know there was that compartment. Is there another thing in there? Let's see. I think we've seen this, yeah. check. So we probably need the compartment, and then he wants to check to see if the door can lock. Wait. Oh, this is new. I think. A woman in a kimono would have the same problem. Women's clothes are very impractical, aren't they? Don't know what that was about. Okay, we've seen this already. Okay. Oh, I didn't even go all the way out. Shit. No, nope. Okay, we can't do the lock. Check the compartment. Back and forth. We've seen this, yeah. Okay. So probably have to present that and show that there could be someone hiding in there.
Yeah.
Allow me to confirm one thing, Mr. Fairplay. You were riding this omnibus. Oh, could it just be the angle that, like, he couldn't see the seats directly below him?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be dumb. I witnessed.
I mean, I feel like he would have been able to.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's find out. I witnessed the events in the cabin through the skylight in the floor of the upper deck. Is that right? That's right, yes. In that case, there is a portion of the cabin interior that would have been out of sight from you. What?
By golly, really?
Obviously, at this stage, we can't say for sure. But the possibility cannot be denied that at the time of the incident, there could have been another passenger in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus.
Objection!
Enough hypothetical meandering, my Nipponese friend. The prosecution demands that you substantiate your claims. After all, the scene of the crime is here, in the flesh.
Then I will uphold the prosecution's demand. You will identify the area in this cross-sectional plan of the omnibus. Where exactly in the omnibus are you suggesting that this potential extra passenger could have been situated?
So it's going to be on. It's going to be in the seat here, or like right here, but I'll go with in the seat compartment.
Take that!
Both rows of seats in the roof face in the direction of travel, whereas the seats in the enclosed cabin face each other, which means the visible part of the cabin, which passengers on the roof deck can see through the skylight, is as I've drawn here.
Oh!
That's right, my lord. As you can see, the seat opposite, the one on which the victim and his attacker were sitting, is obscured from view. In other words, if someone had been sitting on that seat, it's quite possible that these witnesses would have been completely unaware of it. Gag!
Objection!
It's quite possible some phantom was sitting there. Your Nipponese have a forbidding habit of obscuring the truth with ambiguity.
I concur with the prosecution's rejoinder. In a British court of law, evidence is paramount.
Yeah, it's paramount right before random bullshit that the jury feels like, apparently.
Yeah. I cannot entertain this conjecture, counsel. That is, unless you're able to put a name to this mysterious passenger to whom you allude.
Can you, Mr. Naruhodo?
Honestly, don't know. Who could it have been? Who could have been in the other seat, which was out of sight for the witnesses on the roof deck? So, okay, I don't know. Someone with a W name. If we could find just someone with a W name, which the only place we're going to find names is going to be in here. But I thought we already found the only thing we can find in this thing. We're looking for W name because of the knife. But I think we've already, like, I don't know if you can check each page of this or whatever, like... Let's see. Yeah, it seems like it's the same thing.
Can you, like, change the page?
I don't think so. No, it's the same thing everywhere. Yeah, I don't know. So I just had a thought for a W name. Is right. It's W name. I don't know why this is on here, other than to just be a Easter egg. Is there like some like little object around here or something?
Yeah, I guess the thing is, like, I don't know what we're missing.
Yeah. I'm gonna say that I have an inkling, and well, I guess we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll even like save here just in case it's a waste of my health or something. Let's see. I'm definitely not bullshitting. I understand, my lord. The defense would like to put forward a name. You are a fool. Such response was a desperate attempt by a man who has no notion of his own limitations. Yeah, maybe it was a bait, I don't know. A toast to hard lessons not yet learned.
Let us not delay counsel. The defense is still to name the passenger in the other seat.
This could be it. This could be the chance I've been waiting for to turn the trial in my favor. On that night, on the night of the murder, the person occupying the seat in the omnibus cabin that was obscured from view was... Oh.
No.
Okay, so it's one of these people. So, it's not this. Well... Okay, it actually could be McGilded, because he could have been, out of sight, somebody else that everyone thought was him.
Is the one that killed.
Was the one that did the murder. So that's my best guess for now. It's not going to be him. It's not going to be him. It can't be Susato. It can't be these people. And it can't be him. So it must be McGilded.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the twist. So McGilded was there, and someone else was sitting where everyone thought he was.
Take that!
The passenger.
Well, the music stopped.
Yeah, so it's if the music stops, then then you're good. The passenger in the enclosed cabin that the witnesses on the roof deck failed to see has to have been Mr. Magnus McGilded.
Mr. McGilded?
What are you talking about, counsel? That's the name of the defendant.
Objection!
What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets. If I desecrate this chamber by smashing my hollow chalice, do forgive the discourtesy.
Your advance speaks.
People talk of those tiny island nations in the Far East as having a learning and culture of their own. But I see they use the terms ill-advisedly. What are you trying to say, Mr. Racist McGee?
Racist.
Let me explain in terms that even a student of an artless backwater such as yourself might understand. When the bloody scene unfolded, the victim and his assailant were sitting side by side. Multiple witnesses have attested to the fact. It's the very premise on which this case is built.
Objection!
But that premise may be wrong. What? If the victim really was sitting beside Mr. McGilded, it creates an inconsistency that can't be reconciled in any way.
What inconsistency, counsel?
The defendant's gloves, my lord.
Ah, yes, back to the gloves.
Yeah, here we are again. Both witnesses made the same testimony. They claimed that there was blood on both hands of the person sitting next to the victim.
Objection!
Yet we know the truth to be otherwise. Only one glove bears the gore remains.
Objection!
The point is, even in the face of this irrefutable evidence, both witnesses have maintained their stance.
Yes, their testimony remains unchanged.
Exactly. They both adamantly swear that they clearly remember seeing blood on both hands of the assailant. In short, their memory of events is correct, and their testimony reveals the truth. There was somebody else sitting beside the victim that night, a third party we have yet to identify. And the victim's blood was on that passenger's hands, both of them.
Objection!
And who was this third party? Obviously, the true culprit.
That's a non-answer.
Yeah.
Extraordinary! Order! What exactly are you postulating?
Objection!
The defense's postulation is just that. Nothing more than conjecture. The witnesses have clearly stated that they saw the accused.
Objection!
But when elaborating on his testimony, Mr. Fairplay said the two of them were wearing hats and I couldn't exactly make out their faces. Yes. The tops of their heads were obscured by the roof. I couldn't see the rest of them, though. I could see the rest of them.
Sorry, Mary just texted me, order, in a constable's voice, said John at 9:03 p.m. CST. Yes, that's right, both gents were most certainly haunted. Hatters do tend to notice such things, sir.
Yeah, only trained hat experts can see people wearing hats.
And what particular style of hat did the two gentlemen sport, Mr. First?
I'm afraid I don't remember.
My
And-
skills are just in being able to see hats, not recognize them.
Completely different discipline.
Yes.
And you call yourself a hatter? This style of hat makes no difference. There was no sir passenger in that cabin. How could you be sure? Because if there had been, the accused Mr. McGilded would undoubtedly have offered to depose the fact. Blech, that was a hard one to say. Unless that is, you are proposing an even more preposterous explanation. He said he was asleep, right? That the accused failed to notice the presence of the true culprit in the very cabin in which he traveled.
He said he was asleep.
Yeah, but also now I think about it, if McGilded was sitting on the bench, someone wouldn't be able to get out of that compartment. But maybe they hid there when the police showed up. I don't know. He's right. If there was another person traveling in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus, it's inconceivable that Mr. McGilded would not have been, or that Mr. McGilded would have been unaware of it.
Order! There is clearly a simple solution to this problem.
Bring the accused, Mr. McGilded, to the stand.
Well, what say you, counsel?
The prosecution objects, my lord.
On what ground?
As a suspect, he will have already made a full statement to the police. But what if there's some reason why he's unable to speak freely? Magnus McGilded is no uneducated ruffian. If it indeed turns out that the man has been withholding information, you can be sure it will have been a most deliberate act.
Counsel for the defense, what is your opinion?
My lord, should we ask Mr. McGilded to testify or not? Why would we not? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we need to hear what he has to say in order to find out the truth. The defense would like to call Mr. McGilded to the stand.
In that case, I would like to hear the opinion of the
What?
jury.
What?
No! Yes, I need a little time to consider this.
If you ask me, I think we should hear what McGilded has to say.
Fucking hell. Get the man out here, I say. It would be utterly illogical not to hear his testimony.
When something needs doing, you get it done. And that's how I run things at the guild.
Hearing what the patron of my favorite little park has to say, oh yes, that would be lovely. Yes, the jury says the man must be heard.
Fair. The court will hear the defendant's testimony. Bailiff, show the defendant to the stand at once.
Now, maybe what actually happened that night will finally become clear.
Let proceedings be resumed. Mr. McGilded, have you been listening to the discourse of the day?
Oh god, I can't remember his voice.
To be sure I have, my lord.
Yeah, well, we'll go with that.
I think it was more like Scottish.
It was.
Yeah.
There are now two matters of which the court desires to hear from you. The first
Maybe Irish. Jake says Irish.
Yeah.
is whether or not there was a third party with you in the omnibus cabin as proposed by the defense. The second is that if such a person was indeed present, why did you conceal that fact from the police? Again, no, 'tis not my nature to hide anything at all.
No, that's I can't remember his voice.
Oh no. Just answer the questions, please.
The truth of the matter is, I've been desperate about this all along. Do I tell you all to keep my mouth shut?
That's closer.
It was like much higher pitched, I think.
Yeah.
Tell us what, Mr. McGilded.
The fine fella representing me
Absolutely right.
Because we're like, the fine fellow representing me is absolutely right. No, that was good. No, I can't do it either.
Yeah.
I can't do this stupid leprechaun accent either. It's hard.
In the carriage on the knot, myself and the other man, there was another passenger.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. We're going back.
It's true.
Aye, and 'twas me who helped the little urchin get away after it all happened.
Was it a kid? You what? No. Beg this, Big Gilded. That convenient excuse can't save you now.
I'm truly sorry. So I am Lord Van Zinks. I'm sure you'll be wanting to know why I said nothing when I was taken in by the police. No, that's
Jake,
not bad.
Jake says, just say top of the morning to you, laddies, 10 times, and you'll get it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. I do not have a very good reason, I'll assure you.
There you go. Which
was?
Well, the little child was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and not in any way involved, you see.
What?
If the police had known the wee one was there, they'd have assumed she'd done it. They'd have hold her in the courtroom just like this. Oh, God. It's gone.
Goodbye. It's flew away.
I was only trying to spare her that. Oh, my God. Young hearts and young minds are easily damaged, my lord. I failed.
And who was this young child of whom you speak?
That, I don't know.
You don't know?
Aye, well, the wee thing just happened to be in the carriage that night, and I never saw it before or since.
Objection!
We have absolutely no reason to believe this man. The prosecution calls for the witness statements to be disregarded by the court.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the urchin isn't here in this courtroom as we speak, listening to the proceedings.
What? Bang. Oh shit, what's... Ah, smoke! Ah, fire! There's a fire! Look, someone trying to get away. Cough after them. It's no use. I can't see anything through all this smoke. What is going on?
I'm Batman. Be careful! Cover me!
Ladies and gentlemen, I will be tonight's entertainment. Bailiff, don't let the accused escape. Secure the omnibus.
I hereby call an emergency recess. Bailiff, ensure the defendant is in custody and clear the courtroom.
Oh shit. We were hurriedly removed from the smoke-filled courtroom by the bailiff, amid scenes of chaos as people stumbled over one another in their desperation to flee the chamber. We had no idea what was happening. All we knew was that, for the time being at least, the trial was suspended. Damn, it's fucking ninja.
Ooh, to be continued.
So, I was thinking because we started late, and we're at a nice stopping point. Do you want to stop here, or do you want to?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
Yeah, let's do that.
That gives me time to figure out McGildus' voice again.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this was fun. Like,
Yeah.
the case is definitely moving. It's not quite as like the first case, especially, was just so slow and so long. And then the second case was it was like, wow, we're in these two rooms forever. But this one is like things are happening. There's different people. Like, there's events. Like, so this is much more exciting than the first few cases.
I would say I definitely enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
The most out of the three.
Are you going to be free Tuesday or Wednesday?
Yes. I'm not sure which, but I'll let you know.
Okay. I will not be free Sunday.
Okay.
We'll get that when we get to that.
Okay.
All right. And that is going to be it. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Boy.